好好，嗯。
Okay.
Okay.
Just wait.
Hello, welcome to Guangzhou, China's southern gateway city, and this is Yunfei reporter from CGTN, and this is my colleague.
Mark Fontes, thank you so much for being with us on this very happy eve of the Chinese New Year. We're here in Guangzhou, where it's
we are now less than 24 hours away from China's Lunar New Year, and today I'm going to show you something big, some magic. You can see the Canton Tower behind me. And right now, I'm going to control 300 drones to fly in the shape of CGTN. And now, just at the international harbor near the Canton Tower, 300 drones are ready to fly into the sky. And now, we'll be waiting for about 1 minute to see them fly in the sky.
It should be a very impressive magic trick. I wasn't all that impressed earlier with the tricks that Yunfei showed me, but this, folks, is going to be incredible. You know, this special show being held in conjunction with the city of Paris, Guangzhou and Paris really becoming the best of friends despite being many time zones away. And the Eiffel Tower will be lit up much like the Canton Tower. Of course, Canton Tower about twice the size of Eiffel Tower, standing 600 meters tall. We have got a very impressive show for you in just a moment, folks. Some very special letters will be written by these drones lit up here in the night sky.
Yeah. Hey Mark, have you ever seen any drone shows before?
Not exactly, because where I come from, most places don't allow drones. I can hear some flying above us right now.
CGTN behind me.
Oh my goodness sakes.
It's standing up, right?
That is quite impressive. They've even got the network's colors. I see hints of white. Now we've got blue and gold peppered in there. It's really a sight to see.
And, this is the first time a television station shows their brand in China's first-tier cities, especially in this special form of drones flying.
Well, and it's great because, and I see it coming up in red now, just as the tower switches colors. We'll step out of your way here, folks, so you can see it. Now we're going CG and then TN, China Global Television Network. About 13.5 months since the relaunch of the network, which was once CCTV English or CCTV 9, many people had it on their cable systems as. Very nice to see this, especially in person, folks. I'm sorry most of you are watching it online, and it looks great that way too, but to see this in person is really quite impressive. Makes you feel even better about being a part of this great network. Now the drones shifting and changing up their patterns. Still a very nice red and purple mix here that we've got.
Yeah. Now we've seen them, you know, do you know any, Mark, I know this is the first time in China experiencing China's Lunar New Year, right? This is the year of dog. Do you know anything about China's Lunar New Year? Do you know any traditions for the New Year? In
just these few short days, I've had the chance to absorb a lot of the traditions, especially locally here in Guangzhou. The flower fair, which runs for the 3 days right before the dawn of the New Year. It's a great event. It attracts lots of people. In fact, event organizers said they're expecting 1.3 million guests. Of course, day 3 being tomorrow, or later today as a matter of fact. But a lot of flowers, a lot of people, a lot of traditions. This area especially very steeped in tradition, and the Chinese New Year, an exciting time. I know a lot of people make a lot of wishes, many gifts are given, and it's a festive time for really a country that really appreciates its holidays.
I know you've been to the flower fair market this afternoon. Do you feel anything different?
Well, I'm out of the crowds of people which were really bombarding the place. Of course, they were all there enjoying themselves, and that's the purpose of it all. And the city of flowers, or sorry, Flower City, Guangzhou, because of the climate down here, it's about 18 degrees Celsius. Those of you that keep track in Fahrenheit, that's about 64. That's why we're out here in rather just a couple of layers. And the flowers here, because of the climate, which is conducive for growing all year, the flowers stay colorful and resplendent all year long. Many trees line the streets here of Guangzhou. Of course, the colors captured by the drone lights, much like the colors that you see in the flowers here. And really, Guangzhou deserving of that nickname because of its flowers.
We're talking about the old customs, the old fashions, the old traditions in China's Lunar New Year. But do you know any new fashion in China's Lunar New Year? But of course, I happen to know one. in the past few years, from CCTV Spring Festival Gala, doing magic has become a new fashion for people watching TV, sitting in their couches at home.
Yunfei doubles as a magician, by the way. Perhaps a musician too, but yes, he's got some magic tricks.
To celebrate the Lunar New Year, the Year of Dog, now preparing one magic show for the international audience right now.
All right.
Yeah, okay. That's music right now. I'll start with show the music. Now let me bring you about my mysterious magic box. See? Beautiful, right? Bring my paper box.
Magic.
Wow. It's empty, see? It's really empty. Out of nothing. And now I'm going to show you something miracle.
Eager with anticipation here. What has he got? Oh my.
Oh, amazing, right?
Something out of nothing. I want to take a closer look.
Oh
my goodness.
Don't be so mean.
You were duped, folks. This, of course, you know, see-through. That's why you didn't notice it at first. Well, nice try.
Yeah.
I liked the drone trick a lot better because that was magic.
Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
but, well, at least,
enjoy the main theme at China's Lunar New Year. And this is the Year of Dog, you know that, right? The 11th animal on Chinese zodiac.
Yes, it is. So we're almost near the 12th, which is next year.
And there are too many elements surrounding the theme of dogs, especially in the terms of the Chinese traditional idioms. And now I'm preparing some of them to see. Let's do some tests.
Okay.
I
know, of course, the American idioms involve dogs. So we'll wait for them. See what I can get right.
The first one is, in Chinese, we call it 狐朋狗友. It means friends of foxes and dogs. So it's literal meaning translation. So guess what it really means.
Well, if you're friends with foxes and dogs, you're probably not friends with people. Does it mean you don't make a very good friend? Is that what it is?
No.
No?
Yeah.
I'm not sure what it means then.
Yeah, making really bad friends who can guide you on the wrong path.
Ah. Okay.
Can guide you to the prison.
Well, I was on the right path towards that. I didn't get it exactly, but yeah.
And the second one is 偷鸡摸狗. It means stealing chicken and dogs. It's a metaphor. Guess its real meaning.
Well, if you're stealing anything, really, you're probably in the wrong crowd and you're probably doing the wrong thing. I would say that you are probably involved in some kind of business you shouldn't be involved in. Something like that?
Something very close.
Okay, I'm getting better.
It's used to describe someone doing things stealthily or cheating on someone.
Oh dear.
So it has a really
no one wants
meaning.
that.
And third one is, this one is very funny. 鸡飞狗跳 is direct translation is a chicken fly, dog jump. Guess?
Chicken flying and dog jumping.
Yeah.
Well, they both do that.
Imagine a situation. Some invaders get into a village and all the chickens and all the dogs are barking, flying. So
well, I sense trouble in that expression. It's probably somebody, a troublemaker of some sort is involved in all this.
Still very close. It's used to describe a great turmoil. So if you're on subway and something bad happens, all the people will be very panic. Right, so we can call this situation 鸡飞狗跳. Chickens jump, chickens fly, dogs jump.
Okay.
And the third one is, let's jump to the next one. Very funny. 狗眼看人. Using the dog's vision to judge people, or using dog's eyes to see people.
Well, in the U.S., a lot of people believe that dogs see in black and white. They don't see very clearly. They don't have cat's or bird's eye views of things. I don't know. You're not seeing something very clearly? Something along those lines, is that what it means? It
really means you judge people by its status or wealth, by its appearance.
Okay.
Yeah, or looking down upon someone. So if you're wearing something not so fashion, something very old, and you meet someone, some people judge you with give you some bias.
I see.
We can use this metaphor.
Got it.
狗眼看人.
Good.
Use the dog's vision to judge people.
Always good to brush up
That's
on
all.
my Mandarin, and of course
Bring
we're
me on your tests.
Well,
Some
most
American idioms about dogs.
Most Americans love dogs. I know in polls, I think it's over 55% of Americans would rather have a dog than a cat. There are people, of course, that love cats, but it is the year of the dog. Folks
By the way,
born.
are you a cat person or dog person?
Well, I happen to be a cat person, but I do like dogs as well. In
So
fact, at the flower
I'm
fair.
different ways.
Well,
I'm a dog person.
At the flower fair, we saw a yellow lab walking
Yeah.
around. There's an expression, a house is not a home without a yellow lab. They're some of the best dogs, and we've seen all kinds, dachshunds, we've seen Shiba Inus, a lot of dogs, dog owners in Guangzhou, like across the rest of the world. In the U.S. and probably the Western world,
Yeah.
there's an expression, dog is man's best friend. So that's why I'm sure a lot of dog
I
owners...
truly agree that. I can't
Yes.
agree with it anymore.
Dog lovers and dog owners alike, I'm sure, very happy that this is their year. There's also some less than genteel expressions involving dogs, and that's that, you know, a dog-eat-dog world. Tell me what you think that means.
A doggy?
A dog-eat-dog world.
Ah.
It's used a lot in the
It's used
business
to describe
world.
a world man and man are fighting tooth and nail.
Somewhat. It's meant to say it's used a lot in the work world, but every worker or every person is basically out to fight for themselves, might even harm or hurt other people to get what they want. So it's used a lot in the work world. It's not a very happy expression, but again, it involves dogs. And we're months away from the season of summer, but a lot of people in hot places like Florida, New York in the summertime will say the dog days of summer.
A dog day summer is to describe a very, very hot summer.
It's a very, very hot, sultry, oftentimes humid summer.
Yeah.
The origins of the expression go back to the times when it was so hot out that even dogs would lie on the pavement, the asphalt, and start panting because, you know, a dog's cooling system, a little bit better than a human's, I think. But I mean, even if the dogs are too hot, that's where the expression the dog days of summer comes along. And so, of course, we don't have to worry about that. It's very nice here in Guangzhou. Of course, across much of the world, still winter, but a great time to be ushering in this Chinese New Year, a year that many are filled with hope for. I know it's going to be another great year for CGTN. Heck, we just had our call letters right there in the night sky thanks to the drones.
And to the audience, to the one who are watching us, don't worry. There will be a second round of drones flying in the sky in different shapes. Very beautiful. So, Mark, this is the first time in China, right?
Yes, it is.
So, tell me your impression of the flower fair market.
The market, like I was saying, a lot of people, but of course, much more than just flowers. There's gifts, there's food, there's vendors selling all those things. My favorite thing is all the stuffed animals or plush dolls, if you will, that are modeled...
Just like in the Disney World.
Sure, that are modeled after the creature whose year it is.
You must have observed one thing. There are tangerine trees sold in almost every store.
And
do you know why?
I do, in fact. Now this, better than with the idiomatic expressions. The tangerine or the kumquat trees are meant to signal financial prosperity. You see them outside the front doors of offices, shops, especially here in Guangzhou. They are planted, or placed there rather, so that the recipient, the business, the shop, whomever it is, has a financially prosperous year with a lot of wealth coming their way and a lot of success in business. And of course, you don't want to eat any of the tangerines just yet because it's not the new year, but that's basically the symbolism there.
Talking about the flower fair market, we've just made a video earlier today, and let me show you some of the best scenes, best pictures of the Guangzhou flower market. Okay, just in the package, let me...
Okay. Is this my package that's airing right now, or?
No, not a package. Some best collections of pictures.
Okay. And they're going to cue you when we're back?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think so.
Okay.
Is being held in Paris on the Eiffel Tower, right?
It's going to be, I know, even though it's dusk right now in Paris, the day is winding down. Still some light in the sky, but the light show...
5 minutes time lag, right?
Exactly, and the lights...
5 hours, right?
I mean, you got to remember, the Eiffel Tower in Paris, even before Canton Tower was built in 2010, as far back as 2004, perhaps even before, the Eiffel Tower lit up all red to usher in the Chinese New Year because of those colors that are symbolized with that. And really,
as you mentioned, it happens to me that all the great powers love to build great towers, right?
Yes, absolutely.
We have Canton Tower, and Paris has Eiffel Tower.
Yes.
And in America, do you have any famous towers?
Well, my favorite, and it's a sentimental favorite, is the Freedom Tower, which is the new World Trade Center. I was in New York on 9/11, and I saw the original towers sadly fall. The Freedom Tower is the tallest building in America. To put it in American measurement terms, it stands 1,776 feet. That's actually not as tall as Canton Tower. 600 meters Canton Tower is, so taller than every building in the U.S. and taller than most structures on the planet.
And there is a bubble tram circling on the perimeter of the top of the Canton Tower. It's the tallest of its kind in the world.
Absolutely.
So I've been to there before. It's very amazing. It's really an exciting experience seeing the Guangzhou city in one of the bubble tram. And
few buildings light up multicolored the way that it does. And of course, switching right now, we've got a mix of orange and yellow. I see red forming on there as well. It's a beautiful and perhaps the #1 tourist attraction here in town. I mean, you've got the Ram statue in the park, but I mean, Canton Tower, without a doubt, the most visible thing for visitors to Guangzhou to see. Many of those visitors will probably be coming from Paris because of the growing connection between the two cities. I know the mayors of both places have become good friends. And Guangzhou, even though it's not the most recognized city in the West as far as Chinese destinations are concerned, everybody knows Beijing and Shanghai.
Famous in the West? I guess not.
You know, most people haven't heard of Guangzhou. They know exactly where Hong Kong is, just an hour and 20-minute train ride from here, a little bit more. But Guangzhou is not that well known. However, I know that the city is working hard to change that, and in time, I think that it will, especially as Hong Kong, Macau, and Guangdong province, the greater Bay Area, becomes more and more.
Already the second largest in the world. So more and more Chinese cities like Shenzhen, Guangzhou, and second-tier cities like Chengdu and Hangzhou are trying to step into the top list of the world cities. So do you have any suggestions for that, how to rebrand their city's image and how to internationalize their city into the world stage?
I feel like Guangzhou has it all. It's got perfect year-round weather, it's got very nice people, it's got a great location here in the Pearl River Delta. It really is I mean, it's all about location, and it's all about the climate, the flowers, just the beauty of this area. The air quality here really good. I mean, a lot of Chinese cities struggle because of all the cars in the metro area, which, you know, put smog up like that. But Guangzhou, you see very few bad air days, and of course with all the rain and the wind, I mean, any bad air days that we have here are a memory in just a short time. So yeah, Guangzhou really has a lot going for it.
And the Guangzhou government puts a lot of emphasis on decorating the city with greeneries, with trees, with flowers, so the city has a nickname, Flower City.
Yes, and it really has rightfully earned that. And I know that as we move into the Chinese New Year, the national holiday, which lasts for several days. I mean, where I come from,
talking about holidays, we know in the West you have Christmas, right?
Yes.
And now we have Chinese Lunar New Year. These are all the big holidays in different countries. Can you draw some comparisons between what's the differences for you to celebrate your holidays and for us to celebrate our own holidays.
In the U.S., most holidays are just one day. Some of them have eves, like Christmas Eve, New Year's Eve. Not legal holidays, but people sometimes celebrate and, you know, enjoy themselves on the eve of the holiday. In China, I noticed that both the Spring Festival holiday and, of course, the Autumn holiday in October, entire weeks long, give or take a few days, maybe hours.
Yeah.
But in the U.S., we don't really have entire weeks. I mean, schools and a lot of people take their holidays or vacations so that it's about a week or 2 weeks or even longer, but no legal or official or national holidays that last that long.
But I believe there is still one thing in common: family reunion.
Yes, that's
Getting
indeed
together
true.
with your friends, with your families.
Christmas being Thanksgiving is the busiest, Thanksgiving weekend in the U.S. is the busiest travel holiday weekend, busiest travel weekend of the year, most people flying. One thing about Thanksgiving, pretty much all Americans celebrate it. Not all Americans celebrate Christmas. You know, people of the Jewish faith celebrate Hanukkah. A lot of the African and African-American communities celebrate Kwanzaa. So Christmas is a close second as far as how busy it is. But again, Thanksgiving and Christmas, definitely big on family reunions. That's when people get together, families and friends, to have a great time.
Yeah.
And of course, being that it's Valentine's Day today in the West, I know here in China, we've moved into February 15th.
Have you bought any flowers for any girl?
I was tempted to. I saw plenty at the flower fair yesterday. No, didn't buy any myself. I could have bought them for my own kitchen, but of course they would have died in a short time because I'm never home. So, but no, didn't buy any flowers. Valentine's Day is definitely a flower-giving holiday in the West. So I know a lot of flowers right at this very moment being bought in places like Europe and the U.S.
At Valentine's Day, the price of the flowers will jump 4 or 5 times than the normal price. For example, like me, I bought a flower for my wife, this a gnome.
I'm sure she appreciates it, yes.
Thank you. The price is about 1,000 RMB. It's about $200. So
it's up there,
the normal price it will be about 50 or 40. So there's really a big business opportunities for the store owners in China, right?
That's how it works. I mean, you know, you think of theme parks in the U.S. like Disneyland, oftentimes more expensive on weekends than they are on weekdays. So flowers and gifts that are seasonal, probably more expensive on the day and at the peak buying times. That's how they, that's how they make a lot of money. So sorry that you had to pay that much money, but I'm sure your wife and all the other special Valentines out there appreciate it, appreciate their gifts, and it's going to be a good time.
This is a day for your family, and this is also the day especially for your girlfriends and for your wives, right?
Yes, and I know that this evening, since it is February 15th, just after midnight here in China, a lot of people, I understand, will be getting together for big feasts, big dinners, because it is New Year's Eve, February 16th, technically the start of the Chinese New Year.
Talking about that, have you been to any Chinese feast?
Well, truth be told,
because we know there are lots of dishes, lots of wines, lots of alcohols on the table. Have you ever got drunk?
Have I ever gotten drunk?
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
To the Chinese white.
I am getting used to it. You know, white wine, which is probably stronger. I mean, the alcoholic strength of it is closer to things like Mutai and closer to, Everclear. Well, maybe not that strong. Those that have had Everclear know what I mean. But the Chinese feasts, or dinners, if you will, I know some CGTN colleagues and I, just last week on the eve of the Lunar New Year, I believe it was.
Which one is easier to get drunk? The vodka or Chinese red wine?
Wine. Because the white wine is had in such small amounts, at least for me, I did not get drunk off of it. But vodka, because you usually
good drinker.
You usually put more vodka in your mixed drink or whatever it is. Some people drink it straight. I would say that vodka is probably a faster buzz and definitely a faster drunk stupor that you could be in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I was just told that our colleague in Beijing just did a collection of the best scenes of the drones flying. So let's take a look at the best pictures and get a good review.